In our QFD project, we compared our phone, the Google Pixel 3, to 4 of its top competitors in an effort to properly address our customers' requirements while maintaining the lowest and most sustainable production methods and costs. In this presentation, we'll show the steps we took to construct this house of quality diagram and any results or possible improvements we took from it. We will also analyze the competition and what their phones focus on in comparison to our own. Step 1 is brainstorming. The first step in deciding what features to include would be brainstorming all the things the customer would want in their new phone. What used to be a difficult task of trying to relate to the customer has now, with the help of social media, made the job more manageable with better results and higher accuracy. We start by collecting the data from the customer surveys from the last phone, essentially figuring out what was wrong with the last phone and what to change to improve the next product. We can also literally search the internet for what was wrong with the Google Pixel 2. YouTube and Twitter are also used to collect data on what people would like to see in upcoming phones. We also took a look at other competitors' data to see what customers liked and disliked about the competition's products.
For step 2, in order to assign a relative weight to each of the customer's requirements, we sorted through online surveys that we had provided and questions that we had asked on social media to find the most popular requests. However, we had to be mindful that simply asking people to tell us what they consider to be the most important usually yielded to some kind of everything response. By this, we mean that when customers are asked what they want in a new phone, the response is usually everything. To avoid this, we ask them to select the top 5 out of a large pool of options. We then use the data to create a relative weight for each of the requirements on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least important and 10 being the most important. For step 3, technical requirements, we created a list of concrete features, fixes, and enhancements that relate to tasks that customers want. These are called the hows. This list of features, fixes, and enhancements identify how to achieve customer requirements and are usually tangible things that can be changed.
For step 4, we found the correlation between each of the technical requirements. This step proved difficult to understand, but in the book Step by Step QFD by John T., it states to clarify the relationship matrix among the features, ask yourself, if technical requirement X is improved, will it help or hinder the technical requirement of Z? After completing the relationship matrix, we can now understand how the different functions relate to one another. For example, increasing one feature may bring us closer to obtaining one of the other customer wants, but it may simultaneously make it more difficult to achieve other functions. Going forward with this knowledge, we will attempt to find what features to spend the most amount of resources on according to how much the customer needs that particular feature, while at the same time sacrificing the least amount of our customers' demands.
For step 5, we established an impact relationship between what customers want and how we propose to fix it. That relationship should be scored in a non-linear scale, so differences in impact are more accentuated. These are common values that should be defined for each want and how combination. The scale we used was 5 to indicate direct and strong relationship, 3 for a moderate relationship, 1 implies weak or indirect relationship, and blink blocks showed no relationship. For step 6, we chose 4 of our top competitors and related each of them on a scale of 1 to 5. For each of the customer requirements, the graph on the right is a visual representation of how all the companies compare in each of the customer requirements. It is important to analyze this graph because it shows us to know where we stand and what we should improve on as a company. For example, if we see that Apple is selling more phones than us, we should find how our product differs from theirs. Seeing that Apple is more of a simplistic product, we should try to make our software easier to use in order to better compete with Apple.
In conclusion, after following all the steps to make a proper house of quality, we decided that the feature that we would focus on for our next phone would be software development. This is because on our house of quality, software development is first place, standing at 13% relative weight, meaning that a small improvement to the software matrix or efficiency of the code would cascade over many other functions. For example, spending more resources on software development would allow for more efficient processing and battery power, along with more condensed storage trees for better storage capacity. It also paves the way for more effective methods of locking and any other technology advances. This is the purpose of a house of quality diagram. Thank you for your time.